Miss Pam from Calvert Library. Welcome to It's Elementary.
Max and Mo's Science Fair Surprise. This story is written by Patricia Lakin and illustrated by Priscilla Lamont. I'd like to thank the publisher, Simon Spotlight, which is an imprint of Simon Schuster Children's Publishing Division, for allowing us to read the story today. Thank you. Max and Mo were best friends. They lived in a cozy cage in the art room at school. "What are the big ones making?" asked Mo. Max read the sign. "Posters," said Max, "for the science fair." "We like science. We can look at their posters for ideas," said Max. "This poster shows us how to get out of our cage," said Mo. "We can use the wheel. You pull, I push." Max climbed out, up and out. Mo climbed up and out. Down, down, down they slid. "I pulled," said Max. "I pushed," said Mo. "And we used the ramp. We are clever hamsters." "We need a project," said Mo. "What will it be?" Max wondered. Mo scratched his chin. He read another poster. "How a plant grows." "The book says beans need water and sun to grow," said Max. "We can try to grow them." Max looked at the list of things they would need. Cotton? Cups? Beans? Where can we find them? Mo scratched his chin. He saw a bin. "Let's dive in." "Cotton balls!" cheered Mo. "Look at my beard," said Max. "I have a cup cap," said Mo. "And beans too." How can we carry them?" asked Max. "They can go in this lunchbox," said Mo. "Now we push," said Max. "Up we go." Plink, blank, plonk. "I am waiting," said Max. "I'm watching," said Mo. And they waited and watched and counted. "Nothing yet," said Max. A few days later. "I see white roads," said Mo. "I see green shoots," said Max. "Our beans are growing. Now we can make our poster." A few minutes later, someone picked up their cage. Bing, bang, bong. "Where are we going?" Max and Mo wondered. "Yay, we're at the science fair too!" Max and Mo cheered. Science is so much fun.
That was a fun story, wasn't it? Max and Mo had a great time. Can you think of a science fair project, a science project that you could do at home this summer? Have you thought about that? See if you can make something happen? Well, I'm thinking that we can replicate what Max and Mo did. Replicate is a big word. That just means to make it happen again. So we're going to see if we can make it happen again. Try to make beans grow. So, what are the things that we need? I remember that we needed beans. These are packages of dry beans. You might have these around the house for cooking. Maybe Mom has some of these, or Grandma has some of these. You just need a couple of them, okay? So even if they have this in the pantry, you can just take a few of the beans. Some beans are white, some are kind of pinky color. We want to make sure that they're dry beans. We do not want canned beans. Anything that's already in a can cannot be used. Okay. If we had dried kidney beans, we could make that work, but once they're in a can, we can't. So that's the first step, is we need to find our beans, what we're going to plant. And sometimes family members have flower gardens that they plant, and sometimes they have seeds left over, and you might choose to grow flowers instead of beans. It's your choice, whatever you have. You can do that. So if we're going to have a bean growing, we have to have some kind of container to put it in, right? Do you remember what Mo did in the story? What kind of a cup cap did he have on his head? It was an empty yogurt container, wasn't it? So if you look in your recycle bin, and I don't know where you keep yours, but I would imagine there's something in there that you can use. I also, what else do I have? Oh, I've got cups. I have some clear cups. I like clear cups because once you put your dirt, if you choose to use dirt instead of cotton balls or shredded newspaper, that would work too. You could use any of those. You put it in here, you can see it, and once your seed is in, you can see your seed and you can see the roots start to grow through the cup. I like that too. But you can also use, like we said, the different things that you can find in your container in the garage or wherever you keep your recyclables. Any of those will work. So we've got beans. We have a container. We mentioned a little bit about soil. And if you don't have a garden at home, if you don't have an outside area that you can dig in, sometimes if you ask a grown-up, you could take a spoon and they would let you take a couple spoons full of dirt out of the corner of the yard someplace. But ask a grown-up, you don't want to leave a hole for somebody to trip in. So ask them and see what you can do with that. Okay, so we have our cups and our beans and our soil or cotton balls you can use, or shredded newspaper, like I said. What two things make this grow? You need water. Not a ton of water. Just a few drops, a little bit every day or every few days, because you don't want it too wet. You don't want to drown it. All right, some water. Keep your eye on it. Look at it every day and see what it needs. And then you need what? Sunshine. What happens if you put your cup with your bean in a closet? Nothing. Your cup with your bean that's had some water needs to be sat in a windowsill. Okay? It needs to be someplace that sun shines in your house or apartment, wherever you are living. Just put it in some kind of sunshine. Some people have a porch. And you could put it on a porch and put it up high enough that nobody's going to kick it over and watch it. What makes it an experiment, and it's really fun, is when you make an hypothesis. That's another big word. Hypothesis. What do you think that means? Well, in simple terms, it's an educated guess. I think it's going to take 2 days for this bean to sprout. You could write that on a piece of paper. I'll use me. Pam says it's going to take 2 days for it to sprout. Okay, and then you might say, that's silly. It's going to take at least 5 days to sprout. And we'll write your name and how many days you said. And then maybe you can ask another grown-up in your house. Ask them, how many days is it going to take to sprout? Okay, so you're having, it's a contest. You have a contest to see who's going to win the sprouting bean contest. And you can do that. See whose hypothesis is correct. how many days it takes to germinate a seed. That's what it's called. The roots started coming out, and before you know it, something's going to grow up out of the top. So if you do that with a bean seed, and maybe you win, maybe you try a different seed, maybe a flower seed, and see how long that takes. And you start all over. Get a new piece of paper and write the same thing. How many days? And you have a contest with your family members. And you see how many days it takes to see who has the correct hypothesis of the germinating seed of 2020. All right, thank you so much for stopping in to Calvert Library's It's Elementary. Stop by again with all our songs and stories. It's story time and more. It's Elementary. There's just so much going on at Calvert Library. You just need to check in and in all your social media feeds, and we'll be on. Thank you. Bye.